And we're live here with Lantern and the Proctorious, talking all things Zack Snyder from Zack Snyder's Justice League to Army of the Dead. What happened to Zack Snyder? Good evening, Proctorious.
Good evening. Good evening.
How is it where you're at right now?
It's just getting dark. Just getting dark. It's a bit cold, a bit warm. Who knows? One of them.
A little bit how we feel about Justice League and Army of the Dead. A little cold, a little hot. A lot of cold.
A little hot. Both.
Yes.
It's a weird time to be a Zack Snyder fan.
Very weird.
It's probably the most I've ever seen a fan base divide, like a director's fan base divided. That's for sure. Seems to be a weird things happening post Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Right?
How's
You
it
think it'll be like some big victory, but then it's not. Yeah, it's not at all. Yeah, but yeah. How'd you want to start? Where do you want to start? You want to start from the aftermath of Justice League here?
Yeah. So, what do you think Warner Brothers, Warner Media, AT&T, whatever you want to specifically call them, what do you think they're doing at the moment? Do you think they are debating a second Justice League? Do you think they're in talks, or do you think it's completely no, it's not happening?
I think, all that went to shit when Zack Snyder went to Netflix, right? Like, even if Zack Snyder wanted to, he's doing a bunch of other stuff at Netflix. Like, I don't see how they could bring it back to bring Justice League anyway. And AT&T just merged Warner Media with Discovery Plus, right? So AT&T's out. You know what I'm saying? They're not really interested in doing anything. You know, that Jason Kilar guy that was a big supporter of the Snyder Cut, he's gone. He's real gone. So I don't think that anything's going to happen with a Justice League sequel here. I think they're moving on. They got a bunch of movies in the pipeline right now they're working on. So, that's where that ends.
Yeah, I think by the sounds of it, Zack signing a multi-picture deal with Netflix, if he has the time to go back to do Justice League 2, it's not going to be for years. The time is now to do another one, whilst the general audience is still somewhat excited about the Snyder Cut. Whereas in a few years, few months, to an extent, people will move on. Me personally, I've moved on past the Snyder Cut. I'm very happy with the trilogy we got. I'm not that bothered about another 2 films. I think it's getting a bit too crazy at the moment with Zack, with Deborah, with Warner Brothers. It's all seeming a bit crazy. I feel like he's happy at Netflix, so just let him get on with it, really. I'd like a Justice League 2 and 3, but I don't expect it, and I'm not surprised why we wouldn't be getting it. And to be fair, I am genuinely quite satisfied with what we've got. I'm just glad we got the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, the Snyder Cut, I mean, it does end on a cliffhanger and stuff like that, but still, it's a 4-hour movie. It's a lot of movie. It does wrap up what happened in BVS, so I'm kind of like fine with it, even though I don't even think Justice League was that great. I mean, you like Justice League a lot, but like I was very disappointed by it. I was very disappointed by every decision Zack made on that movie. Yeah,
I was more so just when it came out and we found out that actually there was a lot of compromise still, and it still technically, to a weird extent, wasn't really the Snyder Cut. I think that's why I was a bit like, oh, for God's sake, like 4 years to get this film and it's still not Zack's vision per se. Why would we want another 2 films that aren't his vision again? Evidently, there is no backing down for Warner Brothers. They simply said, yeah, you can do it on our terms. He's did it on their terms. It was a good film. It came out, it's a good film. It's most people's favorite DC film now, for some reason. Right? Which is weird. BVS was the most untouched Snyder, but yeah.
Dude, yeah, I feel like BVS was much more Zack Snyder's vision. Like when I look at Justice League, it feels like a compromise from beginning to end. It feels like everything. Yeah, they were trying to retroactively make the movie after BVS. You know what I'm saying? Like to appease the audiences that didn't like BVS, they made Justice League when Zack Snyder was there. You know what I'm saying? Like they were working with him to change everything. And like I was hoping we would have the same tone as BVS. that same like realism tone that it's like uber serious. You know what I'm saying? Like it's I was hoping for something along those lines when we were getting Justice League.
What makes it stand out from every other superhero film? Yeah, well, in my opinion, it didn't really, except for being stupidly long. It's a weird thing to see because I genuinely thought this had come out, and I'd be very inclined to be still fighting for a part 2 and 3, but I'm genuinely not that bothered. I think people need to realise that Warner Brothers gave you this, which is a massive move for the company. Zack got to finish it. It was compromised, yeah. So technically we still didn't get the Snyder Cut. Now let's just move on. It's been years. Let's just move on. Let them do whatever they want to do with DC. The Batman with Robert Pattinson looks phenomenal. Hopefully they make the right decision to move forward. Hopefully they give Matt Reeves the freedom he needs to do his trilogy. And hopefully we just get great DC films and Zack does great films like Netflix, which he isn't doing.
Right, we can get into that. We get into a little bit Army of the Dead, but I just a few more words about how the Snyder fandom has like lost its minds after Justice League came out. You know?
Yeah, I like to unfollow a lot of people because I'm like, I can't finish work, go scroll through Twitter and just be like, what is going on? People arguing, being aggressive, being somewhat violent, being just outrageous. It's films, yeah. We all fought to get his cut released, and we were all in unison. Now we just feel we got it, but yeah, I've never felt so apart, like distanced from the community. And I'm actively trying to distance from the community because I'm just like I just can't deal with the aggression from people. You come out and say, "Oh, the Snyder Cut wasn't that great," and they're instantly biting your head off. If you come out and say, "Army of the Dead's not that great," they're instantly biting your head off. You cannot be a Snyder fan, and it's outrageous. You can be a fan of a director and disagree with stuff they do. You can be a fan of it with a director and, to be honest, hate some films they've done. Nolan's a good example. I absolutely adore every film Nolan's done. Tenet, I was very bored. I don't know why. Maybe I have to watch it again. But Tenet, I thought was too long, very boring. It made sense. It didn't at the beginning, but towards the end, it did all click and make sense. There was too many of the same scenes. The last action sequence was a mess, and I don't really understand how Tenet is loved as much as it is. But I'm still a massive Nolan fan. I'm still a massive Zack Snyder fan. But all these fans seem to think that's it now. You're not a Snyder fan. You cannot be a Snyder fan because you dislike one of his films. It's crazy. Yeah. It's getting overwhelming.
No, and I love Batman versus Superman. I was just on a stream yesterday on some other guy's channel, and I debated with people for like 40 minutes about like why Lex Luthor is way better than Zemo. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? I'll defend that movie to the death because it really feels like that was Zack Snyder all the way. Like it just felt like a continuation from like Watchmen. You know what I'm saying? It felt like the same style and feel. And for some reason, people think Justice League is the same as that. It's not. It's clearly not.
I think if you were a close friend with Zack, he'd sit you down in a room and say, "Yeah, it's the fans got what they wanted." Me personally, it's not. I still didn't really think the Zack Snyder's Justice League is my vision for what I wanted Justice League to be, but I'm fine with it. I bet any money he's not completely happy with that cut. And he's not, because he's already come out like mourning about the Green Lantern thing, which I agree with. It's ridiculous that they've replaced it with Martian Manhunter. But he's already coming out mourning about it and leaking the pictures and stuff. And it's like, just move on now, because there's nothing else you can do. I've literally got a physical copy of it. There's nothing you can do about that now.
No. And Darkseid's daughter's in the chat. What in the chat you're talking about? This person's talking about all sorts of things. I don't know what this means. Snyder do the same thing as Patty Jenkins do with 184. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. She's saying a lot of crazy things. But somebody else say Legion of Doom comes in here. BVS goes hard. You can watch it over and over again. It doesn't get old. Yep. Yeah, even with the runtime, with the 3-hour runtime, it still feels good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I've just bought the IMAX version, and I'm so looking forward to watching it with them action scenes in IMAX.
Yeah,
Man of Steel is the exact same. It doesn't get old.
Right. Yeah.
the Snyder Cut, the second view, and I was sat halfway through, and I just turned it off. I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah,
I don't have 4 hours every night to watch it.
Exactly. It's a very long movie to get through, and it's even more frustrating when you watch it and you know like there's stuff they can cut out, like that doesn't really serve any purpose for the plot, you know. Jose M has joined the building. We're about to talk Army of the Dead. Actually, we're about to talk about it. But yeah,
how you doing?
Yeah, he's back. Yeah,
boy. But yeah, carrying on with that one. But for me, when you watch them back to back, I don't know if it's just me or it's just because I haven't reached out and looked at reviews or anything, but Zack Snyder's Justice League feels absolutely nothing like Man of Steel or BVS. In my opinion, it still does not feel like a sequel. When I watch it, it feels like a complete standalone package that like you wouldn't have had to watch Man of Steel and BVS for at all. And it feels so distant from them in terms of graphics, like special effects just feel
tone
off, the tone's off. So everything about that film's just off. The acting's still off. I know that Joss Whedon was a lot worse. The acting's still off. There still is a tenseness in them scenes where you just think, ooh, like it doesn't feel like everyone's putting in the 100% for this. But yeah, it's definitely a sad thing because when they announced it was a 4-hour cut, I was so happy. I thought, oh, that is just going to be absolutely brilliant. They're going to let him edit in scenes again. My most exciting scene was the Batman Parademon scene, and I was gutted when that film finished. I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, I thought we were going to get it in."
Yeah, apparently that was a Whedon scene. I guess that was a Whedon scene. A couple of things that you thought were Snyder in the Whedon cut were, I guess, not his.
He didn't get to put it in. It was the one, where Batman went into the nest and all the down, and he said it was like a horror film, and they said it was far too scary. He couldn't put it in.
He didn't film it though. He
didn't film it. I didn't know that. I thought he did. Yeah.
RS has joined. I thought Justice League was reworked before even Snyder Cut was filmed, right? Like when Zack Snyder was there after BVS came out in 2016 when they started filming Justice League, they were already reworking the film. When he was there
on set every day, they were actually getting reworked scripts every single day.
Yeah.
So no one actually knew what the script was.
Yeah, there's a famous line like Chris Terrio was like, "Why don't you use some of my lines?" You know what I'm saying? Which I don't think, it's not like Chris Terrio's script for Justice League was anything like mind blowing here. Like when you see like Zack Snyder's Justice League and all these exposition scenes, I'm like, all right. I mean, it just feels like they could tighten that up a lot. That script a lot, yeah. But yeah, all that aside, though, the way the fandom was freaking out about numbers and everything, whether or not the Snyder Cut did good or not, it doesn't really matter. I still think that HBO Max, as a whole, has been failing because we said this before the stream start, but like it's not in every territory, so that's like why it's failing. It doesn't really matter like how good Snyder Cut did. Even Mortal Kombat and Godzilla vs. Kong weren't good enough for HBO Max, Like it's not doing good as a whole.
Maybe the cinema release now is going to boost it, and then Blu-ray copies will boost it. But
those are some more interesting numbers. But
like we're a big market in the UK, and I think except the Snyder Cut, which was Sky exclusive, which isn't even HD, which is just outrageous. And that never got put on Google Play for weeks. But now we finally have physical copies and you don't, so I guess we're the winners. Godzilla and vs. Kong and Mortal Kombat came day one to, I think it was Amazon exclusive, and you had to pay like £15 to rent it, which is a lot of money. That's like $20 to rent it. Like, who's going to do that? Who has the money to do that to rent?
You might as well buy a ticket and go to the theater.
But we've only just opened our cinemas again last week.
Yeah. So
it's a hard one. I've seen both of them films and they're both brilliant actually. I loved Mortal Kombat. I thought Mortal Kombat was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, the action was amazing in that movie, and it was in focus. So while we're talking about movies in focus, let's go to Army of the Dead. Let's talk a little bit about Army of the Dead because boy, was that movie overhyped. That movie was so overhyped by a lot of people on the internet.
You've already gave your review, but give a mini review so people are refreshed. What did you think of the Army of the Dead?
I thought Army of the Dead was a blurry mess that hurt my eyes. It had a weak narrative, weak characters, mediocre action, and it came and went. You know what I'm saying? I watched it once. I'm never gonna watch it again. But that's just some of my thoughts about it. And no one can convince me that the cinematography is good too, because like the shifting focus, like that's something you do like as a gimmick. You know what I'm saying? It's not something you do for a whole movie. Like I would expect that if like the character hit their head and like they're all hazy, then you get the shifting focus. You know what I'm saying? And you get all the blurriness around them. That's what would make sense. You know what I'm saying? You would do that to tell what's going on with the character. You don't do that for a whole movie. It's just too gimmicky. But I guess, I might be alone in that. But like to me, it was like real bad choice. But yeah, you go ahead. What did you think of the movie? You saw it, right?
Yeah. I saw. I watched it last night. I sat down and because I've been ill, I didn't want to have the experience ruined, so I felt miles better yesterday. So I put it on. For the first, must have been 40 minutes, I was, God, this film's amazing. This is going to be epic. The fight scenes and the action scene are going to be crazy. The story, there's nothing's going to ruin this, basically. I thought you were crazy because I watched a tiny bit of your review before I watched it, and then it got to about an hour and something in until the end, and it was just an absolute mess. Overall, I didn't like it. I might force myself to watch it again. Maybe it's one of them films. I very much doubt it, but maybe it is. I felt like, God, everything was just average or bad or off. I honestly do not know how to even state it without going into like incredible detail of each thing. Yeah, the cinematography. What the hell was he thinking? In the behind the scenes, the half an hour featurette that they've done, he talks about it and says that it was done to make it so that it's blurry, so you're not really sure what's going on in scenes and you're more scared and stuff. I was just like, Zack, what? What? Like that scene, if you didn't use that crappy camera when they were walking through the zombies, if you had a proper camera and focus showing how many zombies were in that corridor, that would have been terrifying. Because you used that crappy, shaky, out of focus camera, you lost me, and it kept taking me out of the film because I was like, "What the hell's going on? I can't see what's going on." Everything's
but that's
blurry.
scarier. It's scarier to not see what's going on.
When the Queen Alpha comes for the first time and she's blurred for about 10 minutes, I was like, "Just show me what she looks like." It'd have been cool for 10 seconds and then just show it. Don't do it for 10 minutes where she's a blurry face. What's the point in that? It's 2.5 hours for a blurry background. And it felt like he overused it, overdid it. I wouldn't have used it even in one scene, to be honest. I thought it was terrible. I thought the CGI was pretty bad. Like, I have a good TV and I could see what was going on in clear detail. And I thought Vegas looked bad. I thought it looked like Fallout New Vegas, like an old game background. It didn't look good at all. The zombie tag didn't look good. It took me out instantly again. The Alpha looked amazing. He looked really good. There was, again, with the Snyder Cut, again with this, there was so many scenes. I was like, what the hell? The Dave Bautista's daughter ruined the film, entirely ruined the film. Her alone genuinely ruined the film.
She killed everybody. She got everybody killed.
Oh, yeah. God. Not just that, though. It was the whole... Her acting was... She was the only... And I said it to my partner whilst we were watching the film, and I don't tend to talk of films, but we both stopped and went, she is the weakest link in this film. She's the only point of this film who's got bad acting, who I'm sat thinking, you've took me out of the film absolutely massively. That scene where she goes, well, if you won't let me go in with you, I'll go in by myself. And she keeps repeating it. I'm like, how old are you? If I was a 12-year-old, maybe. Like, you'd accept it if you were on playing Last of Us and Ellie did that because she's a kid and we're programmed to think that. Well, you're not like, the film wasn't selling her as a kid. They were selling her as initially an able woman volunteering, looking after people, but then being an idiot. for the entire film.
You let me go in, or I'll kill myself. That's essentially what she said.
And then she's protected throughout all of it because essentially she's useless. And then she does that stupid thing with the grate, and then boom, she's disappeared again because she's fucked off to the other side, even though a nuke's about to land. For one person who should be dead, why the hell's the Alpha killing everyone straight away? But then they've kept a family alive, who I may add disappears in the helicopter at the end. Where did they disappear off to?
Yeah. No idea.
And the guy who was betraying them to get the zombie head, he climbed up the hatch to go up the roof, and he was going to kill the pilot to fly off. Why was he on the floor when he was getting mauled by the tiger? Why has he got out the front door? What? Are we missing scenes? Probably not, because he got complete creative freedom.
Right. It's 2.5 hours long.
Is Netflix actually getting involved to some extent? I don't buy it, no. I think Zack's made a film that's a bit clunky, a bit messy. He's did it through lockdown, made a few mistakes. If I was him and I'd watched that back, I'd have been going, oh, like, shit. Like, even the intro, the opening sequence with the tiles. What that was like pink font. What, like the font was so basic. I was like, what? The opening tiles were somewhat cool, but for people saying they were better than all his rest, are you crazy?
I can make that. I can make that with my video editor. I can make that with my video editor on this PC. This free video editor has the same font, the same coloring. You could do the same thing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's these little things that take you out. The whole intro with Alpha and then aliens fly past. I was like, wait, what the hell? Like, what the hell am I watching? And then all of a sudden the zombies are cyborg. It was just little things like this that it didn't feel like it was written in the script. It felt like one day Zack went, whoa, that'd be cool, and then put it in. But in reality, every single one of them scenes I'd stopped, and it took me out of the film completely for a while until I got immersed again. And then something stupid happened again, took me straight back out of the film again. And then the ending was disastrous. Holy Jesus Christ, what a terrible ending. Like, how come it showed everyone die in such severe horror and gore, but it didn't show the blonde guy die? Everyone's fan favorite character, who definitely was going to be a fan favorite, gets very gently dragged from the safe, very gently. But it didn't show you him die, so it definitely is implying they're going to do something else with him. The whole time loop thing, it's cool, but bloody hell, I wanted a zombie film. Like, I just didn't want it. It's the cinematography, I agree with you, but like every shot that did look cool, he cut away instantly, so it looked cool for about a second. You didn't even have time to remember it because it just went boom, there you go, it's done. Like, but there's so much you could literally talk about it for hours, because the positives of the film to me are Dave Bautista, the zombie tiger kill scene,
zombie tiger,
the opening sequence with the zombies killing people and the military nuke and napalm and everyone's death scene. I thought it was quite cool how most people were getting mauled by the zombie. I was like, yes, zombies are powerful and they would overrun you.
No.
But except for that, some of the action wasn't like everyone got headshots every single time.
Yeah.
And to get tropes and stuff. People like that last said, oh no, I don't really have any experience shooting zombies or anything at the beginning. And she goes in, she bloody kills, must be about 50. She gets out of a full corridor filled with them. And then unfortunately she dies, but still. That's something you could talk about for ages. Mental.
Yeah, dude. There was some like good parts, like the zombie tiger biting that dude's head and like squishing it. Like, that was great. Like, that would have been great to have more of that. But then there was some like really dumb moments, like go back to like the opening montage. That moment where the guy is do you remember this? Where the soldier dude is parachuting and he lands into the pile of zombies and they just eat him, like in the montage. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Just so stupid. Like what? I was laughing. Yeah.
I'm very much able to take myself out of stupid films. I can get away from stupid script nuances, I guess. But this, I couldn't, and it wasn't because I was taking it seriously. It's because Zack was taking it seriously. This film was advertised as just a fun zombie flick. I went into it thinking it was going to be that, and it turns out it's not. It's this ultra serious Zack taking it ultra seriously,
There's a lot
zombie
of
film.
serious moments in the
Yeah.
film. Yeah.
So you've made me take it seriously, and when I've took it seriously, it's a mess. I'm not even a critic, but there was so much of it where I was like, what the hell? And I wouldn't be bothered if it was like zombies were unrealistic. You're not gonna. There's no suspension of disbelief where it takes you out of the film. But when a character's acting so stupid that she's very, very obviously just a script written character, that it takes someone out who's not even a critic or understands the basics of writing a film. When it takes me out, you've got a problem. And I just don't understand how people are going away saying this is one of his best films, and it's like a solid 8 or 9 or even a 10. I just think, who are you kidding? Because not even Netflix execs are saying this is a great film. I bet.
Yeah. I IMDb right now. I think it's sitting at like a 6 something, like a 6.1 or 2, which seems about right. I don't know, like a 6 out of 10 or 5 out of 10. That's about what this movie is. It's nothing that special, and it's because Zack Snyder had no one to rein him in. Like nobody was telling him what was good or not. He's kind of like just flying at the seat of his pants there. He just needs an editor would have been nice. A director of photography would have been nice. You know, a good writer paired up with him probably would have been better. Shadow Vessel's here, and his main problem with the movie is that had nothing to do with Dawn of the Dead. And
no,
when
I agree, Shadow. Yeah. I agree with that so much. Don't name it the name of the sequel to the film. Straight after Dawn, he said he was working on a sequel called Army. So for 20 years, everyone thought if that finally happens, the sequel's going to be called Army. You announce a film called Army of the Dead. That's very much a sequel named to Dawn of the Dead. And then specifically say it's not a sequel to Dawn of the Dead. It's so dumb. I agree with you, Shadow, because it's so stupid.
Because it's clear what happened. Like he wasn't able to sell the movie to Warner Brothers, you know? Yeah. And Netflix bought it from Warner Brothers, and he had to completely change it to get rid of like anything that tied into Dawn of the Dead, right? And make a new IP out of it. So that's why the movie I feel feels like a mess, really, because like he's has to recreate it, you know. And the only thing that's the same is probably like the zombie idea in the title. Like everything else has changed about the movie. Because it was originally like what he originally wrote was a sequel to Dawn of the Dead, so he had to change all of that. I feel like that's probably what leads to some of these problems. Darkseid's daughter. How did the bar dance zombies become the queen of the zombies? I don't know. I don't know. Apparently, the alpha zombie king dude was really attracted to that zombie, and they had a baby. But Zack Snyder loves some zombie babies. Let's go back to Dawn of the Dead. You know what I'm saying? He loves some zombie babies. I don't know what it is.
Dawn of the Dead is such a better film on another league to this.
Yeah.
I
know. And I'll be talking about that later tonight. I have somebody coming on my channel, and we're really going to compare Dawn of the Dead to Army of the Dead. And we're going to really explain why one's like way better than the other.
One's brilliant, one's pretty bad.
Exactly. It might be a short stream.
But yeah, Dawn of the Dead. So I love Dawn of the Dead's ending. Army of the Dead's ending. I was rolling my eyes. I was like, again, you've took me out. Like, wasn't even
the one character I kind of liked. I forget his name, but the black dude with the saw. Like I was kind of into his character. I was happy that he made it out, and then it shows he's bit. So I'm like, all right, well, you know, why has he not changed? First of all, like, why is it taking him so long to change it to a zombie? It like took Dave Bautista like a few minutes, and he became a zombie, right? So you know, inconsistent with the rules of the universe there. So yeah, I feel like that was another scene where Zack Snyder like came on the set that day. Like, wouldn't it be cool if he was bit? You know, he got out of here and he was actually bit. Wouldn't that be cool? Like that would, like I feel like that's what happened that day. You know, when they were filming that.
It's just
class. Yeah, he fell asleep while watching it. That, you know.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even say the action's that great. Like at least with a Zack Snyder film, you always have the visuals and the action was phenomenal. For the first time, the visuals were terrible, which is crazy. And the action was headshots. Like wow, like. That's exciting. Just loads of people getting headshot, loads of zombies, which isn't the exciting part about zombies is when you mow them down. Like World War Z does great action sequences when they all run in big hordes. and you can't get the head every time, so it's tense and stuff. These were just boom, 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 boom in the head. And sometimes it felt like they're not going to get touched unless they get overrun, and then they did get overrun. And it was like, right, well, there was no tenseness building up to that. It just kind of happened at the snap of a finger.
Shadow says he heard from somebody, Mr. Everett's, on Twitter, the theory that they're stuck in a time loop. Remember that scene?
That's terrible, though. Like, why does anyone want that in a zombie film?
Exactly. Like somebody compared it to the Matrix, and I had to make fun of that on Twitter. like, oh, you can't explain it, so it's the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? You can't explain, why they made this decision in the movie, so it's got to be the Matrix. It's got to be the Matrix. But yeah, it all comes from that one scene where they're in the vault, and the guy's like, maybe we've been here before, maybe we're doing this over and over, and like that's the only point in the movie they're talking about. And I felt like it was all for a joke. I felt like that was a joke in the movie. I was kind of laughing during that part.
Well, yeah, they were all dressed the exact same, the skeletons. And I think Zack's just posted another poster where it hints at the theory, where he repeats it, where he repeats something 3 times or something.
But this is the thing,
and everyone's latching on it with confirmation.
Yeah, that's how you're gonna set it up, Zach. You're just gonna explain it to the audience. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have a character literally just explain it, like the whole theory on camera, because that's where people get the theory. Because this character was like, maybe we were here before and we're doing this over and over. That's not very subtle. You know what I'm saying? It's not really thought through. Yeah.
It just seems crazy. Like, same with Justice League, the aspect ratio. I wasn't happy with it. I accepted it and I watched it, but I just thought with Nolan, every IMAX scene on Blu-ray, it opens up the widescreen for the full TV. Yep. Whereas Zack Snyder, you've cropped it, in my opinion. Yeah, you've got more top and bottom, and you've essentially got the full shot. But because of how you filmed it, I've lost loads because of the giant black bars, and I have to sit closer to the telly to be more immersed. And I just didn't like the look of it. And when he announced he was doing it at BVS, I was like, God. I was like, fine, but and I accepted it, and so on and so forth. But now he's gone to another little thing of, right, we need this weird focus, shallow focus camera for the entire film. How did no one stop and go, oh, come on, like, are you seriously doing this for every single scene?
No. It was so disappointing. Yeah.
I do feel like, to an extent, and it sounds awful in a creative way, but I do feel like he needs a studio to sit him down with Man of Steel and BVS, because they definitely did, to sit him down and say, look, these ideas are just daft. Audiences aren't going to react well to this. They're just not going to be immersed, or they're not going to enjoy it. Like that female, the Dave Bautista's daughter, I feel like rather a good scriptwriter or a good producer would have sat down and went, what the hell are you doing with this character? Anyone who read that script should have stopped and went, people are going to hate her. Like, honestly, despise her. Where it's going to take people out of the film. And it did me. Everything she did, it was taking me out of the film again. I was like, nah, she's being an idiot again. It's doing my head in.
And I don't know if you noticed when you were watching, but I was noticing dead pixels.
When
I was watching the movie.
It stood out like a sore thumb. It wasn't some little thing. I was like, is my TV broke? I thought it was a dead pixel, and it wasn't. It was directly in like the middle of the buzzsaw guy's face on one scene, and it does again. It's immersion breaking because it's a big pixel broke on one screen. How does that happen?
Yeah, and I got a shot of one here. This is from the bank scene with the German dude. Let's see if I can share the screen so people know what we're talking about here. Because some people probably wouldn't notice it if they're like, not looking closely. But me, like, I'm fucking, I noticed it instantly.
An all right size TV, you'd notice it, yeah.
And I thought something was wrong with my eyes. I thought something was like wrong with my TV, but like no, like a lot of people are reporting the same things.
Yeah.
Here it is. That's one of them. I don't know. It's gonna be tough for people to see this, but they're even circling some of these shots right here. These little dots that are popping up. This is one I missed. Like, so that's one. That's a new one. But yeah, these little white spots where pixels are blown out. Apparently has something to do with how Zack Snyder shot the movie.
Oh,
this is a mistake that they could have fixed in post. I mean, so Zack Snyder didn't catch it. That's the thing. Like, and I've never seen a Zack Snyder movie where he misses something like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was literally, this is very brilliant time, because I was literally about to say, for this film, it felt lazy. It felt really lazy which I've never felt from a Snyder film before. I've never came out of it that felt lazy, or some aspects felt lazy. This all felt lazy, lazily done. Just
felt
half baked to get a check. Yeah, rushed and lazily done.
Very disappointing to even see that in the movie. That's something that you should never see in a fucking movie that cost $90 million. Apparently, it cost $90 million to make the movie.
I thought it was $70 million. No.
Well, I guess advertising adds on to that or whatever, but still, unexcusable. Honestly, inexcusable, right?
What was the budget for the first Dawn of the Dead?
The first Dawn of the Dead, it must have been under $100 million. It had to have been like, look it up. Look it up on your end, because I'm still on these dead pixels right here. Dawn of the Dead budget. But yeah, people have posted videos on YouTube about this too.
$26 million. It cost the first Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. So roughly a similar budget, and for some reason, Army of the Dead's like what 30 minutes longer than Dawn of the Dead. It's weird. Classy, I think, said it pretty. Yeah, the movie should be like an hour 30, hour 40. It's definitely stuff you can cut out of Army of the Dead. And I forget who said this. Somebody said this on a stream yesterday I was on. I forget who said it, so maybe they'll see this and they'll say I said, they'll give themselves credit. But there's a oh shit, I'm forgetting it now. But there's a moment in Army of the Dead where like you could have converged the stories together. Like how they're going in for the money, right? But the guy really wants the zombie heads. So why didn't they set it up and let the guy tell them to get the zombie head? And while they're in there, they could just go to his vault and pick up the money as a reward for getting the zombie head. You could have, why did it have to be so convoluted? Why couldn't the guy that was hiring them tell them to go get a zombie head for him? And he could be like, and your reward is whatever's in my bank vault. That could have been, and that could have made the movie shorter. You wouldn't have a convoluted plot with this security dude who's just working for the main dude, right? Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
You could have had the whole team trying to get a zombie head for him, and then they could have went to the bank vault to try to get their own reward for going in there in the first place. I think that would have made the movie more tighter. You would have been able to cut out like 20 or 30 minutes, right? But do you think they would have turned down that offer, knowing that they could have whatever's in that bank vault, which was like $200 million or something like that? I don't think they would have turned that down. I think that would have been part of the deal, right? Like, you can have my $200 million in my safe if you just give me a zombie head. I think that would have been a great, way to make the movie tighter, and such an easy fix too. But nobody helped Zack Snyder, and I think that's the fault in Zack Snyder, and that's why I named the stream this. That's why I named it, because if somebody was helping him on Army of the Dead, you could have had a tighter movie. You could have had a better movie.
Honestly, there's so much they could have messed around with. Maybe not in post. I think there was a lot they could have messed around with during shooting, where it would have made the film cheaper budget and a lot better. It felt like every decision they've made was just bad, was just absolutely wrong. And it really is it's annoying me seeing people say how good the film is, because I'm thinking, how can you subjectively say that's a brilliant film? It's just not. It's so messy to the point where there's dead pixels on the screen because no one noticed it in post-production. Are you serious?
Like, that would never happen.
Had that. Holy shit, there'd be hell to pay.
Yeah, dude. You'll never see that with like a big budget studio film. You might, but like nothing like that in Godzilla vs. Kong. Nothing like that in fucking Mortal Kombat.
No, then both of them films were light years better than than Army of the Dead. That's a fact. That's not subjective. Mortal Kombat's, maybe you had problems with some aspect of it. I don't know what aspect.
Yeah, you don't like the characters or whatever.
Yeah, that script was tight. It was tight. It was short. Got to the point. Showed amazing action, ridiculous gore. Kept very true to the game. had the big fight sequence that it always sets up, Scorpion vs Sub-Zero, then it's done. It's done. We could give you a sequel if you wanted one, but this is a brilliant film, standalone film. Godzilla vs Kong doesn't mess around with human characters anymore. There's still a bit too much for my liking, but they don't mess around with it anymore. It was just a crazy, crazy big giant monster fighting film, and it looked amazing. And I didn't even watch it in cinemas, but I am going to watch both of them in cinemas over the next week. Am I going to watch Army of the Dead again? And no.
Yeah. Zack Snyder's name is all over.
I feel like he just talked to himself.
Yeah. That's what the movie felt like. It felt like it was just like him on the set by himself. I kind of feel bad for him. Yeah.
In the the documentary about how he created it and stuff on Netflix, at one point he's like, oh, this is Army of the Dead. I directed it. I wrote it. I'm the director of photography. I'm the this. I'm the that. And I just think, if I was him saying that, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to say that on camera. I'd feel too smug. Mm-hmm. And it's at one point he starts going on about how he started off as a director of photography, so why wouldn't he go back to it and just do it himself? I was like, what a uptight thing to say.
Yeah,
like
you can't give somebody else a job. You know what I'm saying?
Larry Fong were a great cooperative team to bring us ridiculously good visuals. Now I'm thinking all these films looked brilliant because of Larry Fong. Because Snyder Cut again lacked some of the visuals from his older films. So is it a Larry Fong thing all along? I think BVS looked amazing. Man of Steel looked amazing. 300 looked amazing. I felt like they were a team in heaven. By himself, I'd very much like to see another film he does to see what if it was just a fluke. But from this film, it looks like, nah, Zack, you need someone.
Yeah, I really hope Zack never does this experiment with the fucking camera again, and just it almost looked like a student film, Army of the Dead. It almost looked like a student film. And if you're gonna do that, why not just hire a student from like some film university to come be the DP on your movie, Zack? Like, if this is what you're gonna do anyway, like give somebody else a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, try to prop up some new artists.
I just don't recognize him anymore. I didn't like.
Do you like Zack Snyder, Joshua? Do you like him?
See, you've just proved our point from the very, very beginning of the stream. Yeah. We can't dislike one film because now we have to hate him.
No. The fact is that like the only reason I started YouTube channels because I loved BVS that much. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only reason I started a YouTube channel, because nobody was liking the movie as much as me. Yeah. And I had to voice my opinion about it, you know?
I've never felt as passionate about something as I did with the Snyder Cut for 4 years. Like, Zack Snyder's still my favourite director. Easily still my favourite director. He's just disappointed me with a film. It's not the end of the world. We're not terrible, terrible fans now. I'm sure he can accept and cry into his millions what he's worth.
Yeah, he's worth $30 million. So, yeah. I don't think like he needs a fan base to constantly be stroking his ego all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like
he likes it though,
I guess, and he's leaning into it a lot of the time. You know, especially with a lot of the comments. Shadow pointed a lot of things he's been saying out of character lately. I totally agree with that.
I don't recognize him. Yeah,
and it has a lot to do with his fan base. You know, he's just like feeding into them. What's up, Tony?
Yeah, it's just. But I can't believe he's commented that, because that is literally just exactly what we were saying earlier. That you can't dislike one of his films because all his fans come after you straight away. But it just, it was just bad. Like, at least with Tenet, I didn't like it, but it is a Nolan film, absolutely a Nolan film, like through and through. I just didn't like it personally. Whereas Army of the Dead just felt off. Something feels off with Zack lately. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing his next film and a trailer and stuff to see
what is his next film. Have they announced anything
since the beginning of the days? He never even mentioned politics, and now all of a sudden he's coming out and saying, "No, I'm hard Democrat." And I'm like, Zack, you denied to comment on any of that for 20 years. Why are you all of a sudden coming out with it?
Right. I always thought he was like a centrist. You know what I'm saying?
I thought he was a centrist. Yeah.
I think he still is kind of, but yeah, he said he has to keep talking about how he voted for Biden and stuff like that. And I don't know why people are asking him these political questions.
Well, Army of the Dead, that scene where it's like, oh, the president thinks the nuke could be very cool. I was like, right, a Trump dig. That's funny. Well, that's weird, Zack, because on every behind the scenes, that's what you say over things in a film. Very cool.
Very
So
cool.
kind of a backwards insult to yourself there.
Yeah. And like, yeah, that's all the reasoning they ever have for anything Zack Snyder does. Like, oh, it's cool. That's the reasoning. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, give me some more. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be more thought put into this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Did you see Shadow Vessel's review? Who said it? Yeah, Jose. That clip he used with everybody smelling Snyder's farts, like that. Shadow's hilarious. Shadow's hilarious.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, what classy? I agree with that. That's off topic massively, but I absolutely agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
If you look what Classy's just commented.
This one? There.
Yeah.
Watching Revenge of the Sith in 4K, and it's my favorite Star Wars movie. The movie has flaws, but to me, it's a masterpiece. Is that what you're talking about?
Absolutely. I watched that recently again in 4K too, and it's just a brilliant film. That film has not aged poorly at all.
Yeah, because it's tight. I don't know. Like they know what the end goal of that film is. And I feel like George Lucas was trying to get there as fast as he could, really. I don't mind the prequels at all. I think they're the worst ones, Attack of the Clones, but still, like,
I love all three of them. I love the original trilogy. I love the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
I love Rogue One. The sequel trilogy, I thought Solo was fine.
Yeah.
I love The Mandalorian.
I love Mandalorian too. Yeah.
But yeah, everyone has mishaps. Star Wars, there you go, has mishaps. Snyder's had a mishap for the first time for me.
And it's all still Star Wars, though. Even like you don't like Jar Jar Binks in the first movie. I mean, you have Ewoks in Return of the Jedi, so it's like, you could, there's always something not to just pick out of those movies and stuff like that. Yeah, the documentary. I love the documentary. I love the documentary on all those prequels too. But yeah, back to Snyder and his Army of the Dead. Any final thoughts on that? Really?
It's nice to say I'm not alone, and there is quite a few Snyder fans saying, "Yeah, you've let yourself down with this one and stuff." And I hope he doesn't do because some people are saying it's good, so it has to be good. I hope he is looking at people who are saying, "Zack, what have you done here?" Because I do feel like he's probably looking at like these film junkies and stuff who are spamming his messages with, "Oh, that film was amazing, Zack. Don't listen to the haters." And it's probably gone to his head, and he'll do another film with that terrible camera.
Now, everybody that has any criticism's a hater. Everybody.
Yeah.
Dude, you think the girl in the movie's dumb? You're a hater. You think that whole subplot's dumb? You're a hater.
You're a hater. You just don't understand the film. If you think the aliens being in it out of nowhere at the beginning is dumb, you just don't understand it.
Yeah, you think those soldier dudes should have gotten the truck at the beginning instead of running away? You're an idiot. Like there's so many things in the movie that are stupid. Why didn't they get in that truck and drive away?
Yeah, it is like, and it's sad because up until like I'm still a massive Zack Snyder fan. He's probably my favorite director still, but it is sad to see this film because I genuinely it's the only film of his that I came out of it thinking I will never watch that again. I don't think. Might eventually, but I don't think I will.
I haven't watched it again since I watched it the first time.
It's sad. Zack Snyder films used to be hype up until it comes out, and then it'd be the best thing ever going to the cinemas to see or sitting down to watch, and you'd know you'd finish it and love it because it's your favorite, my favorite director. Same for Nolan. I know every time a Nolan film comes out, I'm going to get ridiculously excited. And I haven't felt like that about this is it. It was Zack. Zack was the last one because Tenet let me down a bit. So now it was like, well, I can't wait for this at least. And Prisoners was the last film I watched that blew me away, to where I think that he's probably one of my new favorite directors, Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, it's a tough name. I think he's doing Dune, right? He's doing the new Dune.
Yeah, he's doing Dune. Yeah, which I can't wait for.
That might be really epic. That movie. But yeah, this guy's business. Army of Dead looked like a student film sometimes. Yeah, definitely. It was not his best work. I think that's clear. And Jose M says it. Yeah, that those people aren't going to tell you the truth.
Yeah, did you see what Wonder Woman Meg posted? I couldn't believe it. She posted how everyone should buy secondhand DVDs. I was like, in the top comment was someone saying, well, that's not supporting the artist or anything, is it? And she was like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, because at one point someone bought it. I was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, ever. I was like, what the hell? It's so dumb. So you're not buying the Snyder cut then? You're getting it pre-owned. Like, yeah, you're one of his top fans, quotation marks.
That's like the dumbest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it is, it's so dumb.
The only way the money goes back to the artists or people that made the film is if you buy it new. You know what I'm saying?
Brand new, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way.
People they want to buy films secondhand. I was like, oh my god, you are unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, you said with Nolan, like there's certain things you expect out of a Nolan film. I think that's why people were kind of let down by Tenet, because things that you expect in a Nolan film, you expect it to sound great, you expect it to look amazing, you expect the acting to be good, you expect the narrative to be engaging. All his films are like that, and Tenet is kind of like the odd one because like the sound is a little wonky. It still looks great. It's still some good acting, but the story's not like that tight, really. It's I think it's like the first half of the movie's backwards, and then it goes like it shows the same part of the movie in the second half, right? Like it's like it's not what people were expecting, right?
Yeah, and that's what it does. It literally repeats the same film.
Yeah,
and it's like, how can you expect me to sit there and enjoy that? I've just watched it.
Yeah. So he was, that's something that Nolan was trying to experiment right there, and maybe Zack Snyder was trying to experiment with Army of the Dead, but it doesn't really feel like much of an experiment. It feels like a very generic zombie movie with like not a good story, no good characters, and the action subpar. Very unlike Zack Snyder. Like there's certain things I expect out of a Snyder movie. I expect stunning visuals. I expect amazing sound design. I expect, a badass action scenes and fucking, stuff like that. I'm not really expecting great characters, out of a Snyder film all the time. Yeah. I'm not expecting the greatest story ever, but like there's certain things like, I want the action to be stuff I've never seen before. Yeah.
I think every one of these films has one of its scenes on YouTube with millions upon millions of views because it stands out so much. Like BVS has the Batman warehouse scene. The amount of times I've watched that scene is, I just couldn't even imagine. Man of Steel obviously has both fights, and 300 has the side fight when the camera's on the side. Do you know what I'm getting at? What does Army of the Dead have? What scene from Army of the Dead would you rewatch? Just from that,
probably just the tiger biting that dude's head and squishing it like a watermelon. Yeah. That's the coolest thing.
That was the coolest part. Yeah.
I can't think of any other like kill. There was one where the guy was on like a turret and he was shooting that zombie, and the zombie just like shredded apart. That was all right.
Oh,
I've seen that.
Yeah. Oh, when he was in the jacuzzi and the blood was pouring out, but that was like 4 seconds.
Yeah,
that was a cool shot.
Maybe I would go back and watch a montage of all the zombie kills in the Army of the Dead. But still, like I liked Dawn of the Dead better. I feel like the kills were more imaginative than Dawn.
Andy in Dawn of the Dead, I still remember him to this day. He stood out to me because I watched his little film, the behind the extras film where it shows his vlog in his house where he talks about being alone and stuff. Like that stands out for me, and it has since the day I watched the film for the first time. I love Andy as a character. I thought there was so much emotion when they were putting up the boards to say goodnight and they were messing on through the day. And it just, like, it was just dumb throwaway characters again, but like I actually cared about them in Dawn of the Dead. Like I genuinely did.
Yeah, dude. When that dude kills himself at the end of the movie, like I teared up the first time I saw it.
When Andy comes out and he lifts the thing and it's covered in blood and he's a zombie, that is easily the most heartbreaking scene ever.
Yeah.
I was devastated.
Mm-hmm. Or when the girl has to shoot her dad. They're like, oh no, or they have to shoot that girl's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and kill him.
But
go ahead and kill him.
That's got that when that girl runs off for the dog, that's another stupid move by a character like Army did. But everyone in there makes her responsible for it. They're all going, how dumb is this girl type thing. So they're feeling what the audience feels.
And they do set it up that girl's like really attached to that dog. Like when they first get the dog, she's the only one that's like petting it and like real close to it. So they do set up that she cares about the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, it was a stupid thing to make, but all the characters agreed with the audience in that aspect. So it didn't take you out as much. Dawn of the Dead's a miles better film. If anyone comes at you and says otherwise, they're simply wrong.
It has a lot to do with James Gunn's writing too. Like he wrote that movie and came up with that story, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think.
Well, George Romero came up with the idea, but as far as the mall and the zombies go,
Just unbelievable film.
No. But anyway, I think that's gonna do it for now. I think people got to rein in Zack Snyder here. Like these films are not getting better. You know what I'm saying? They're getting worse. Like I feel like BVS was his last great film. And most people think it's Man of Steel. Most people think it's Watchmen. That was like his last great film.
Yeah.
But still.
People are commenting now about the favorite scenes in
flight scene.
That's what I mean.
People are saying flight scene.
Yeah. There's a standout scene in every side of film, whether it's everyone's is the warehouse scene by a lot.
Oh yeah. Even people like I was debating some people about BVS yesterday, and even they were like, the warehouse fight scene, best part of the movie, best part, the greatest scene in a movie. You know what I'm saying?
I can rewatch that scene. Yeah. In a movie they hate. Yeah, and people love the movie, love that scene as like. Yeah, it is just it's going to be remembered forever. But this,
lawn films. This film, Army of the Dead could have half hour of that film easily. He needs an editor, he needs a writer, he needs a DP like Larry Fong to be on his films with him.
Why is Larry Fong bailed?
That's the thing. Like that's what I was trying to say in one of these videos. I'm like, why does nobody want to work with Zack Snyder? Like his OG crew, like where are they? You know what I'm saying? They all moved on to other things.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
It's just weird. But yeah, that's gonna. I guess that's gonna do it for now. Unless you have anything more to say about this.
You could talk all night about the problems with Army of the Dead, but I think you'll just start getting comments of people being very angry.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are agreeing with us right now. Honestly, the ones that are watching this, I think they got it. Yes, we Zack should just hire us to go over his scripts and his shots, tell him what's good and what's not. 100%.
It's very, very sad.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine if the director of photography that worked on 1917, what's his Deakins? What?
Deakins.
Can you imagine if he paired up with Zack Snyder? Oh my God!
Yeah,
that would be incredible. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he was the director of photography on Prisoners. That film looks beautiful. What a simple idea. Quite a long film still, but very, very perfectly run out, and just phenomenal cinematography.
Legion of Doom. I made a whole stream about that. I was asking the question: is Zack Snyder a con man? Did you watch that, Proctor? Did you watch that video?
No. What does he mean by easy targets?
Easy target. That Zack Snyder made a comment about how his fans were easy targets to, raise money for a charity.
Oh yeah. Did he?
And Zack Snyder said that.
Bloody hell.
Yes, I know. I don't think Zack Snyder's the best with words for sure. I'm not the best either, but still, come on. So bad. And I was listening to former executives that worked with Zack Snyder, right? They were on a podcast, and these guys worked with Zack Snyder, and they think one of them said that he thought Zack Snyder was kind of a con man because when he asked Zack Snyder, why is he making Watchmen so long? Zack Snyder said, we have to do it for the fanboys. We got to put that in for the fanboys. And it's it's a little weird. I would, I made a stream about it, guys. Go check it out. It's on the channel. Just go to uploads. It's there somewhere.
Well, it is because he tries to cater the most to the fans of what he's doing the film on. Yet he's still the most controversial director ever, and probably in my opinion, one of the most hated directors in Hollywood.
Yeah, it's a scapegoat, though. You know what I'm saying? It's just a way for him not to really think about why he's doing certain things. He's like, oh, we're just going to do it for the fanboys. You know what I'm saying? But this is like, the goal should be to make a good movie. You know what I'm saying? Like they cut how many pages out of Harry Potter? You know what I'm saying? When they're making those movies? Like, make a good movie first. And he cut the squid out, Watchmen, so he didn't mind cutting that out. But he'll keep other stuff for the fanboys.
It's just weird because BVS was definitely not a film made for hardcore Superman and Batman.
There's a lot of fanboy moments in it, though. There's like shots from the Dark Knight Returns in that movie. You know, if you're a fanboy of Dark Knight Returns, you're gonna see a bunch of shots from that graphic novel in that movie. But then again, you gotta think, like, did Zack Snyder only put that in the movie because his thinking is, oh, this is gonna really hype up the fanboys? Like, that's his thinking.
I don't know, because like Jasuta says that he wanted to kill Dick Grayson, which is definitely not something the fans was gonna like. Which Warner Brothers knew. Warner Brothers said that you're gonna piss off the fans and took it out. But Zack Snyder did stand by it that he wanted to kill Dick off.
Mm-hmm. It's just odd. But I go back and forth on it all the time of how to feel about it. But still, Army was a huge step back. I mean, it's a stain on his career. You think Justice League was? Like, Army of the Dead is going to be a stain on Zack Snyder's career.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad.
For some people, it's his best films, so are we the odd ones out? Is there a small community that doesn't like it? Or for me, I agree, it's a stain. Absolutely, it's a stain on his career.
I feel like the majority of people think it's like not good, and most people think it's probably average at best.
The general audience, if you look at Netflix on Facebook and look at all the comments on Army of the Dead posts, that Netflix posts on Facebook, most of the comments are people saying, "Oh, it bored me to death. What a terrible film." These are just general audiences, who didn't like it. Don't even know who Zack Snyder is. They just didn't like the film. Thought it was a bad film.
Like most films on Netflix that come out, right? Very much so.
Yeah, I felt like if that film was done under Warner Bros., it would have been a good film. Shoot me.
There would have been some good notes. You know what I'm saying? At least, you know, it doesn't seem like Zack Snyder was getting like bad notes when he was making Justice League. They're like, maybe, you know, Cyborg should act differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe, you know, like, No,
Jasuta. Mortal Kombat was a brilliant film. That's not too crazy to give Mortal Kombat 2021 an 8 out of 10. What was wrong with that film?
Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with that film.
It was coherent, very coherent. The gore was brilliant. The CGI was brilliant.
Yeah. If you can't get behind the main character, you're probably going to hate that film. I mean, I don't know. I think that might be it. That might just be like the new main character people don't like.
It was a very simple plot device, though.
Friends who aren't into movies but watch anime didn't like Army of the Dead. That's interesting because, like, you would think if you're a big anime fan, you're going to be a big Zack Snyder fan because he gets a lot of inspiration from anime. Just watch Sucker Punch. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of anime influence, a lot of video game influence. I don't understand what was
these people ever played the original Mortal Kombat games, or even the current ones. The Mortal Kombat story is cringe, is very cringe. The early Mortal Kombat games cutscenes are cringy. They have cringy dialogue. Johnny Cage is one of the cringiest characters ever made. That's the point of Mortal Kombat. Like, it's cringing over the top and crazy.
It's a fucking it's hammy. You know what I'm saying? It's very hammy. Yeah. I'm offended, Kasuka. I'm offended.
What was wrong with that film? Give one comment of why it was bad instead of just saying it was cringe or that we're offending you, because it was a brilliant film. I loved it.
Brilliant might be a step too far, but I feel like it was a serviceable film to get to a sequel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, it's Mortal Kombat. What if that film to me? I went into it. It had to be fun. That was it. That's all I wanted it to be. It was a fun film, and it was extremely fun. It was more fun than Godzilla vs Kong. It was more fun than Snyder Cut. It was more fun than Army of the Dead.
They should have focused on them trying to find their potential. Wasn't that what the movie was about? I think wasn't that the whole movie? They were trying to find their powers.
Yeah.
Was that the movie? I could have swore that was the movie.
That was the movie.
He felt too quick. Well, in this, when we're getting like 2.5 hour zombie films, I'm kind of looking for a film that I can finish in under 2 hours here. I'm kind of looking for that. I think films they've been making films for over 100 years, and they've had the runtime pretty much solidified for movies. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're around 2 hours or under 2 hours, that's a good runtime for a movie. Mm-hmm. If you're going to do something that's like 3 hours or 4 hours long, that's what we call an epic. You know what I'm saying? Only a couple films have done that. Lawrence of Arabia. You know what I'm saying? If your film isn't going to be better than Lawrence of Arabia, it really shouldn't be 4 hours long. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to change about that. We can all agree that Man of Steel is the best movie of all time. I think that's fair. That's fair.
No, BTS is better than Man of Steel.
Yeah, I like BTS.
I had a great time with Mortal Kombat. I did not expect it to have good writing. I went to Mortal Kombat film.
Definitely the fight. The problems were not the fights.
Well, not the fights. I don't understand horrendous fight sequences. You are confusing me a bit.
It opened with a great fight. The Scorpion fight and Sub-Zero at the beginning was amazing.
Yeah, ended with a great fight. Middle was great fights. When Kung Lao did his execution on that flying character, oh my god, that was so gory.
It's gory as fuck. But yeah, that's gonna do for now. I mean, we're getting off to a completely different thing, but
yeah, we're getting aggressive comments about Mortal Kombat.
People don't like the movie. I don't know. I saw it. I had fun watching it. Like I don't know. I wasn't really expecting much. I guess.
I'm going to cinemas to see it again, so I'm happy with it.
And when you compare it to Mortal Kombat 1995, which is a classic movie, but when you compare it to that, dude, there was a lot of overacting in that 95 film. You know what I'm saying? It's very corny. You know what I'm saying? Like the new one isn't far off when you think about it. It's not. It's very similar.
It is corny. It's a corny.
Yeah.
Katsuka. Did we watch the same movie?
Yeah, guys, watch Mortal Kombat again. I feel like you guys will miss some stuff in that movie.
You missed the point. Yeah, Mortal Kombat's a very corny.
Yeah. They didn't even do the tournament, by the way. They didn't even do the tournament in that movie. That's saved for the next movie here. So we're yet to really see the Mortal Kombat.
They confirmed a sequel already.
Oh yeah. Dude.
Holy shit, that's cool.
I think they did. Yeah. They definitely set it up. They definitely set it up for a sequel.
Scorpion better be back.
Yeah, Scorpion better be back. So we better see Sub-Zero return as some Smoke or some of the noob, whoever he comes back as. Doesn't he come back as noob or like something like that? Johnny Cage is going to be the sequel. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. You imagine if they got like Ryan Reynolds to be Johnny Cage? I think everybody would love that movie. They're probably not going to do that. Anyway,
Katsuka commented. That's very true.
Cold plot armor.
Yeah, literal plot armor, gold plot armor.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that about like every character, like Army of the Dead too, like especially the daughter character, right?
Yeah. But I wonder if Army of the Dead 2 will be a sequel to Army of the Dead, though, because apparently he names them the same things, but they're not sequels. So.
Oh yeah, the Armyverse. By the way, we should probably mention that a little bit. There's going to be an animated prequel show about Army of the Dead on Netflix, and there's going to be a movie directed by the blonde-haired dude that was in the movie, the German guy that was in the movie. He's going to direct a movie that's going to tie into Army of the Dead.
Jesus.
They're already going to begin filming that this year. I think that's what the latest on that. But is it going to continue after that? Probably not. I'd be shocked if they continue, this Army of the Dead universe after these projects, because they already made the anime. They already made that, so that's coming out regardless. So they already have these things in the pipeline, but like after that, I don't think it's.
I do not see an Army of the Dead 2. I really don't.
Yeah, I really don't think it's anywhere.
I need him to do a serious film again, and I've always wanted Snyder to do a Vietnam War film.
Right. Because he keeps doing. He keeps using Apocalypse Now shots in every fucking movie he makes.
Do a war film. We'd love to see it. I'd love to see a war film from Zack Snyder. Holy shit. A very serious and gritty war film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because that's a good point. You know, if Batwoman can get more seasons, Armyverse can happen. Oh, yeah. For sure. I don't even know how Batwoman is getting more seasons. Like, who's watching that show? Like, what are the numbers? Like, who is watching Batwoman? It doesn't make any sense.
It's free.
It's like 3 really dedicated people that just hit the refresh button all the time.
It's just crazy that Netflix are pumping out stuff like Army did, but we can't get a Mindhunter season 3. Like, are they serious?
Yeah. We can't do so many good shows that should have sequels and stuff like that.
Yeah. Just so Watchmen is not a Vietnam War film.
Did you see Superman Lois, by the way?
No, I don't watch anything CW.
It's not. I think it's made by like the HBO guys because it's nothing like a CW thing.
No.
A little family drama, but still.
I like Titans. I like the first season of Titans when I watched that. But
yeah. I didn't watch the second half of like the second season of Titans. I still gotta watch that. I watched all of Doom Patrol. I'm all caught up on Doom Patrol. I like that. I was kind of weirded out by the second season with the daughter, but still. I'm looking forward to what they do with Doom Patrol. And there's a bunch of shows out there. But anyway.
Yeah, I agree, Jasuta. # Mindhunter season 3. We want you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
Right? That show's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah. I want that. Give me that over the Army.
Let's scrap Snyder Cut. We'll start # for Mindhunter.
Yeah, Mindhunter Season 3. Release the Mindhunter.
Release the Mindhunter.
All right. Bye, guys.
Goodbye.